Hello, this is IP Stories by 4IP Council, the podcast about innovation and intellectual property. Join us and you will hear about the journeys through invention, creation, and IP understanding of our guests.
I'm Pinar.
And I'm Marta, and we have with us today Emma Garatea. She is the CEO and founder of Cocoon Airbag Protection. Emma, did I say that right? Cocoon?
Cocoon.
Cocoon,
Yes,
cocoon.
yes.
Sorry.
Almost.
Well, hello, Emma. Thanks so much for joining us today at IP Stories. And first off, I would like to congratulate you on your recent win at the MAFRE Innovation Awards. You know that I saw you there at the awards ceremony, and I was very impressed with your company. And I think it's an amazing achievement.
Thank you. It was really very inspiring to be there. Of course, taking home the prize was amazing, but it was also great to be around the team of the Fundación Mafre, around the other finalists, getting inspiration from their startups, and the whole thing about innovation that is for helping making the world a better place. Of course, that is rewarding at a different level.
Yeah, I must say that I was very impressed with all the projects. I mean, the level was amazing. And also I think it's so important to have those kind of awards, like focused on social innovation. So yeah, it was really great. And I'm very happy to have this opportunity to have this chat with you. First of all, I would like to know a little bit more about your story. So, how did your journey lead you to becoming an innovator and eventually an entrepreneur?
Uh, I'm a cyclist at heart, and I used to cycle everywhere. I live in Sweden, and that is pretty normal to use the bicycle very
Sure.
much. And I love the freedom of having the bicycle, and I love that it was environmentally friendly and everything around it. But that changed when I became a mother because I was terrified over the idea of cycling with her. So I searched for a product that could offer me a safer way to cycle with my child. But I could only find the traditional child seats, and they look exactly the same almost that they have done since they were designed in the 70s. So they lack any impact protection. My background is as an industrial designer, and I am very interested in safety products and in solving problems in general. So I decided that I had to change that and to create the world's safest child seat for bicycles. That was going to be my mission. And it has been ever since.
So, from your story, I hear that this idea sparked in Sweden and cycling, but I know that you have lived and worked in different places. So, how has these experiences across countries or different industries influenced your design philosophy and your approach to problem solving?
I think it has affected me a lot. It's like every country that you live on and every culture that you experience is a little bit like a puzzle, like making a puzzle. It adds you, it enriches you. Sweden, for example, has taught me a lot about the environmental, the focus on the environmentally friendly and sustainability. And that's also close to me at a personal level. But also the Swedes are very pragmatic people. And that's a good thing when you are designing because you need to design in the most simple way, not overcomplicating the problem, but also to have very user-centered design. So these both parts are something that I take with me. And also living in other countries has affected me, of course, a lot. I grew up in Pamplona. I moved away when I was a teenager, but that, of course, where I grew up affected me a lot. And I think it has made me a lot more open-minded and flexible. And I learned to approach the problem from multiple angles. and value collaboration across disciplines.
Mhm.
And I think also women are especially good on this, seeing the whole picture. I'm not saying that men are not. I'm saying that it's a strength that I have seen in many women to be able to do this. And yes, and moving between countries also has taught me about being resilient. And that's also a good thing to have when you have a startup. You need to be resilient for sure.
So I would like to now dive into Cocoon because our listeners must know what is it about and how your design works. So this is the first bicycle child seat equipped with an airbag. Um, and I would like to know, when did you realize that you had a solution worth bringing to the market? And also, if you would like to explain how it works, that would be great.
Yes, so Cocoon, we are developing the child seat and the portable airbag unit. The technology of the airbag could have been developed for any child seat, but we decided that it was the best was to design a child seat that was specifically made for this purpose. And this is because there are child seat of different qualities. So you can find in the market child seat that are very bad quality and very good. So in order to make sure that it's safe and it's a good quality child seat, we're developing it together. But to activate it is very simple. You just attach the portable airbag unit that is not heavy at all, very easy to use and to bring with you on a purse. You attach it on the back of the child seat and then it is activated. And when you no longer need to use it, you just detach it from the base and you can bring it with you. If while you are cycling, the Cocoon, when it is activated, it detects an accident. It will react very fast and inflate the airbag within milliseconds, and then protect the head and the body. And this is an invention that is not supposed to replace the helmet. So the child still need to be having the helmet. So we add a layer of safety, and it has been proven in independent tests run by the Wroclaw University that it protects between 14 times up to 315 times reduce head injury criteria. That means that it can go from very high values that have been published of 7,000 head injury criteria. That's very deadly. Imagine that a grown up can take more or less around 1,000 in head injury criteria after it becomes lethal. So it went from that to 33 in head injury criteria, so nothing. So that's very effective. So that's the way that it works. And for your question about the time that I realized that I had to continue with this was when I found out that I was not alone in this fear, that if 70% of the parents were feeling exactly the same fear as me and were actually avoiding cycling with their children. And this is a huge problem because we need to think about other types of mobility than cars. We need as a society to do this. And it's not right that we have so advanced technology to protect the people or the families in the car, and then we don't do the same for the cyclists and the families that are cycling. So then for me, it went from a personal need that evolved to a mission, to a global mission, to making cycling safe and fun for families everywhere.
And just out of curiosity, when you were doing these tests to see, like the impact that it could take, do you do them in the same way that it's done with cars, like with the dummies and yeah?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Exactly the same way. Exactly the same way, and exactly the same standards that are used in the car industry.
It's gonna be so useful for so many people, as you were saying, that don't want to stop using the bicycle because they don't feel that
Yes,
it's safe
yes.
to take their children with them.
Yeah, and like listening to your whole path, I'm just thinking, how haven't we had this technology before. Like, it's such a well thought product, and it just is accommodating to a great need that has been there for such a long time. So I wonder if you could walk us through the development cycle, from the initial concept to the finished product. How was that
Yes.
process?
Uh, the thing that you mentioned about why isn't it there already, that was exactly my thought. So in the beginning, when I came up with the idea, I said, no, but there must exist already. This is too logic of a product. And then I realized that it didn't exist. Of course, before making the patent application, I did a very, very in-depth research about this. And I was also amazed. And I think that this is one thing that I would say to other people that have ideas. Don't think that just because, of course, somebody else has invented it, that it is that way. Check it out. Check it out if they really did invent it. And I also think that maybe it is, since the child seeds are not a so technical product. It's from a plastic point of view. It has, of course, some challenges like that, but it is not a high tech. It was never a high tech product. It was a piece of plastic at the end of the day. I think that step, it was a big leap for maybe the child seeds companies to go for deep tech when it was not at all their area of expertise. And that's maybe what made that nobody did before. And about your other the question about the process, I like to see the design process as very small loops, very pragmatic small loops of research, design, build, test, evaluate, and then rebuild. And you do these iterations and you do them over and over again, never being afraid that the solution doesn't work. You always have this open mind that we need to test it. We don't know until we test it. Nobody is right until you are right. And then at the end, we have reached the high performance beta prototype, the very robust prototype that we have today. But it took a lot of circles of doing this. And also another thing that we did is that we had this collaboration. Before I mentioned the Wrocław University, it is important that you need to find the right people also to cooperate with, to give it strength and to make a product that you would put on your own child seat with your own child sitting there. Of course, it needs to be very, very robust.
If you have a clear goal in mind, and if you really stick to it, if you're disciplined, then there's nothing in the way of you to find a solution.
Exactly. It's about taking the chance. You never know. But one thing that is important is that that if you have an idea, check out, did anybody do it before? And if nobody did it before, make sure that you protect it before you send it out.
That's such a great advice. Yeah, because we do take for granted
Yes.
that, you know, whatever ideas we have been done already, that someone must have thought about it before.
Yeah.
But then
Yes.
maybe not.
Exactly. And yes, if you present a big company with your idea, you never know what happens with that idea. So you must value the ideas that you have, but always with an open mind. This is what I also were mentioning before. You always need to have an open mind. Never get so stuck to your idea that if it's proven wrong, that you refuse to abandon it. So there is the two different paths. The people that refuse to let go of the idea, even if they see that it's not working, that's not good. or the people that don't value their idea and they think, but this is nothing. It is a balance between the both.
Yeah, that's the imposter syndrome
Yeah,
talking. Yeah.
yes. That's also something that a lot of women have, or a lot of men also, but a lot of women think that, okay, but it's nothing special. But it is. You need to test it.
I'd like to take you up on the IP, the protection perspective that you mentioned. At what point did intellectual property become a focus in your development process? Was it something you were thinking about from day one, or did it evolve over time?
Actually, for me, the IP was on my radar from the first beginning. So I knew that if I was going to develop something really innovative, I needed to protect it. And this is because I had my own experience when I was at the university of being involved in trying to file for a patent. That time it was difficult because you don't always get the patent granted, of course. But it taught me a lot about it, and about the process, and at that you the first thing that you need to do is securing the idea, and but later with also having the company. It's we began to think more strategically also about other type of IP, about future products, branding, and long time protection.
It's
It has
great to
evolved.
hear that you were taught about intellectual property at uni, because we often hear how startup founders had to learn about IP the hard way, and they had absolutely no clue, and sometimes they even made like big mistakes, like you were saying before, maybe showing the idea before it was
Yeah.
protected, or and so it's great to know that at least in industrial design, you do have like a subject about it, right?
We did have a subject, but to be honest, I learned a little bit by myself from being involved in that process. So I think that it wasn't enough focus on me during my academic training. But I have, is exactly as you have said, I have learned so much through my own experience, speaking with IT professionals, asking a lot of questions. But I do think that overall, I don't know if it has changed since I was studying. I think the universities should have much more focus on this, because there can be a lot of ideas coming from the university that can become spin-off. Maybe it has changed in some areas. I don't really know.
From what we have seen, not much. Like,
Okay.
we see engineers and programmers and artists that are completely lost, and that have to learn by doing, or I mean, getting professional advice, which is a good way. But yeah, it's sort of like a completely new thing that they didn't even consider until they had to like face it.
Okay, then I'm happy with this podcast that we can actually make the students change their mind and see it from a different point of view, because that's very important.
Yeah, and it would at least give the students an idea of how to reach out for professional help. Like what exactly, what type of protections are we talking about in this innovation? Because there could be several types of IP protections involved. So it would be good for the designers, innovators to know this from the beginning.
Exactly.
I'd like to turn to another aspect because you mentioned how much important it is to you, the sustainability aspect in your product. We know that you are really committed to circular economy, and I would like to know, how did you incorporate these principles into Cocoon's design, and were you able to protect it with IP?
Yes. For me, as exactly as you mentioned, sustainability was a non-negotiable. So I designed the airbag system to be repairable instead of disposable, which is more common. The disposable airbags, like the ones that we have in the car, once it deploys, you have to throw it away. So the materials in Cocoon are very durable, and I have made it possible to service or replace components instead of throwing away the entire products. And this, for parents, means that it's a lower long-term cost and less waste. And for us, it reflects our commitment to responsible design. And so in the business, this is in the design part, but in the business model part, it is based around a subscription model. So the parents can subscribe on Cocoon. And then it is important that we keep track of the unit health all the time. We must know exactly. And the user also need to know it. So we will offer an app with remote self-diagnostics. So the user will know at all time, and also ourselves, that everything is perfectly working. And if it deploys, they will also get instruction to get to the repair shop and so on. So yes, it's. I think it is very important as a designer to not just design things that enhance the endless consumption that we use and we throw away. I think every designer and entrepreneur needs to start think a little bit more long term. How do we do this from a more responsible point of view?
I completely agree. And I'm sure when talking with investors, the fact that you have this dimension of your product for the right investors, I'm sure that's an additional value, that an extra point, because it's something that I think more and more people now are considering that it's a must when designing new products. I would like to know as well, like when searching for investors, what was the impact of having IP, particularly patents, and of course, yeah, like as well any other aspects of the design that they might have felt attracted to.
I mean, for a deep tech product, it is very important, the patent. It's what differentiate you, what that you can to other partners, investors, competitors, but you have to show that what you are building is of value. And this we have got very, very positive response from investors. We had our own angel investors investing several times, so that's a good sign. But yes, protecting it means that otherwise it's going to be difficult to have a deep tech product, because a deep tech product takes a long time to develop. It's not just a software that you can do or an app, like you can do it fast and try it and see if it goes well. That you cannot do with this kind of products, but they are much more difficult to copy. And with a patent, you stay protected from that, and you create value.
And for many startups talking about investments, financing IP could be a big challenge. So, how did you manage this aspect? Were there any grants, programs, or mentors that helped you navigate it?
A little bit of everything that you mentioned. In the beginning, I covered the patent application cost myself because I really believed in the potential of the idea. But later, I brought on investors who also understood the strategic value of IP. On top of that, we have been quite successful with grant application. For example, Women Tech EU is one example. And this kind of grants has helped us a lot, both with the funds, with the grants, but also with the mentors, because the mentors connected to this kind of programs are amazing. So I have met really amazing mentors. So this would be something to say for anybody that is out there with a startup. to find the right mentors and to keep them close to you.
Mm-hmm. We will definitely share the links of any grants or programs that you would like to share with us, because I think it's good to give them visibility. And I would like to know, on a more personal note, being an entrepreneur and in deep tech, what sort of challenges did you have, if any, and how did you navigate them?
Yes, from the personal perspective, you have to accept that being an entrepreneur is a bit of a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be very grounded and resilient, as I mentioned before, the word resilient. But on the other part, I think creating a product that is both hardware and safety critical and high tech and all of this is a combination of a lot of complexity in the product. So it takes very much perseverance and adaptability. But what has helped me staying grounded in our mission and surrounding myself with the right team. So that has made it possible to keep pushing forward, and even when the road gets rough.
I'd like to take us back to Cocoon because I'm very impressed with this product and I believe in its potential that it can really make an impact. And I saw that you already have a waitlist for the product. How are you preparing your production and launch strategy to meet that demand?
So right now we are finalizing the prototype and undergoing the testing, and the next big step will be the certification, which of course is essential for a product such as Cocoon. After that, we plan to launch and begin scaling, and IP protection will, of course, continue to be essential for us. It's what will give us freedom to grow, to continue growing with confidence and expand our product line in the future. And as you mentioned, we have this waiting list that is now open on our webpage, cocoonairbag.com, where people that are interested in Cocoon can sign up to be the first to be notified when we launch. Of course, in the beginning, we will launch a limited amount of units, and the people that will be on the list will be prioritized for supporting, being interested in Cocoon from the first beginning. And there is also a chance to be selected as an ambassador, getting free access when we launch the product, which is interesting for many. And we have got a huge amount of response, overwhelming amount of response. So that make me happy because it shows that what we're doing is important and that a lot of people want Cocoon to be in the market.
Yes, of course, no wonder. Is it okay then if we share that waiting list? Can more
Yes.
people register, or is
Yes.
it? Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
of
great.
course. Yes.
So listeners, you know that we will be sharing the link as well if you want to sign up and find out when the product launches. Emma, thank you so much for spending this time with us. It's been a pleasure, and
Thank
we
you.
really wish you the best. We are big fans.
Thank you so
Definitely.
much. I love talking to you, and I'm happy to help with maybe some inspiration for the future entrepreneurs.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to IP Stories by 4IP Council. Visit our website on 4ipcouncil.eu to find out more and check out the links mentioned during this episode. If you liked it, remember to share and subscribe.